I'm going to give you the universal solution to all things. My basic premise is most things are not half as difficult as we think they are. It's just that we haven't made the choice or we haven't paid the fee. So I'm talking here about things that we should be doing that we're not, ways that we're wanting to feel but not, or ways that we're feeling that we want to run away from. So if any of that makes sense, okay, here's the universal solution. 1, name it. That's actually a very hard step. In order to name it, you have to have a certain level of conscious awareness of your problem. And we are so good at avoiding our problems that we're completely adept at suffocating the feeling attached to the problem. Try writing it down. Try journaling for a week on precisely what it is that you're thinking and feeling. And just look at that after a week or so and see what are the jewels, right? In order to know where you are today. Number 2, leverage. Why do you want to change? Again, maybe try journaling that. What is it which is so important that turns a should into a must? A should is a won't, okay? An ought to is a won't. I'm trying is I won't. So what is the leverage? What is the motivation, the reason behind the reason that turns a should into a must? Okay? Write it all down. Maybe write it down for a few days. Then look at it, and having said all that, what is most valid, most important, most moving out of all of that? Yeah? Because that's your leverage. That is, if I don't change, I'm never going to have that. Yeah? That's where you get the oomph to push to the point of doing the things which are a little bit kind of tricky or scary or uncomfortable or whatever. Yeah, it's the, well, if I don't, I'm going to end up stuck where I was sort of approach. So leverage is very, very important. Most people run away from pain rather than running towards pleasure. So if you can associate pain with maintaining the status quo, then you've got fantastic leverage about how to make all of the movements that you want to make. Yeah? So you want to know where you are, you want to know why you want to change, and then number 3 is what's stopping you. That's it. Because it takes a split-second choice. It takes a decision to act. That's it. Years and years and years of therapy. The only reason for doing it is to get you to the point where finally you say, you know, I'm finally seeing that it's possible to change, or I'm finally seeing the reason why I'm going to change. Something like that. I finally got it to myself that this is something that has to give. Something like that. Yeah. So the question 3 then is more about what is in your way. What is stopping you to make a choice? And the way to get into that is by closing your eyes, going inside and asking. It's not difficult, but the response that you might get, you might not like, right? Most people are really, really good at pushing away the responses that they don't like. They censor their internal thoughts, right? Or they just simply deny them. They push them so far away that they're no longer there. They are there. They're there in your body, right? They're there in your gut. They're there in your heart. They're there in your solar plexus. They're there in the tingling of your thighs. Yeah. When you're on track, your thighs tingle, right? When you're off track, your stomach or your heart aches or something like that. You know, there is a messenger system within all of you. So it's there no matter how hard you have tried to push it down. But the question is, how do you access that? So basically, consider exactly what it is that you want to do, that you've got the leverage on doing, but that you're not doing. Close your eyes and ask, what's going on? Lean into the feeling. Find the feeling in your body. Embody that feeling. Give it a shape, give it a color, give it a movement, give it a texture, give it a temperature, give it a name, give it whatever you want. Bring it out in front of you and let it express itself. What's going on? You know, it's probably a protective mechanism. Let it talk. Let it talk. Find out what the crux are of the reasons for the blockage. Maybe have a negotiation with it, or maybe simply try, well, the way that we've been doing it for all this time hasn't been working, so would you give me permission to try something else? You know, maybe try, well, the more that we don't do it, the less we know about what works. Or maybe try, can you see how I'm going to suffer if we don't fix this? That's the leverage, right? Maybe try, is it possible that we're both on the same side and we're just coming at this from different perspectives? Something like that. But basically what you want to do is lean into the feeling with an open heart, with an open mind. You're just there to learn from yourself. Yeah? What is in the way of you making the choice? It might take someone 10 years to come to the point of making the decision. But I promise you, making the decision takes a split second. And then you look back and you go, what was I waiting for? Yeah? That's it. That's the keys to the whole thing. Know where you are, know what your leverage is, make a choice. Oh, number 4, take action. Yoda, yeah? There is no try. There is only do or not do. Yeah? So, do. Experiment. Play if need be. But do. Experience. That's how you do something new. That's how you create new habits, by doing and doing and doing until they become second nature. Yeah? And it's a new habit which is more beneficial than the one that was repeating the problem that you were on before. Ta-da! I hope that's of use. Cheers. Bye.